Hey, welcome back, guys. Apologies for Monday. It was Labor Day here in the US. Definitely was not prepared for that. Last we left off, or left, I should say, sorry. Last we left, we were building our main function so this can be interactive. Not interactive, this can be usable. So, welcome. See where we were. I think we were in PCAL. Yeah, we were in PCAL. So we needed to actually get prayer calendar. Excuse me. That's fine. That's fine. So we need to build condition with coordinate and build condition without coordinate. So we got the lookup method. We got the customer input, and in which case customer input is going to be type of this, which are city. Okay, so city, country, customer time. Here API key only if it's going to be used. Postal code. That's again only required if coordinates is not filled. And then, oh yes, that's fine. Okay, cool. So now we should be able to go ahead and use this no problem. All right, so let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting notifications of the Wazoo today. I said Wazoo. All right, so now here in lookup method, we've got that. That's great. We've got the monthly prayer data, which is of this type. Okay, so then we just need to fill out the necessary stuff. And here we just need longitude and latitude. So let's go ahead and do the with coordinates first. If the customer provides coordinates, then we can just go ahead and call the monthly prayer data directly. And if the customer does not provide the coordinates, then we can go ahead and use the here API and go from there. So if how do we want to do this? If customer input dot coordinates dot latitude and customer input dot coordinates dot longitude. Does that work? Does that equal 0? Yeah, it still works. Okay, cool. So if they're not equal to 0, then I want to be able to say go directly into excuse me, go directly into PCAL input. So monthly prayer data dot. Let's set those two first. Equal customer coordinates dot input dot longitude, customer coordinates dot input dot latitude. Perfect. Okay. So in which case I'll do from there is before any of this, I can actually go ahead and fill in the rest of the data. So monthly prayer data dot customer time is equal to customer input dot customer time. Not add date. This should be the same thing. So that takes care of the time. Monthly prayer data dot. Let's see what else is a similar property that I had in here. Country code and city. All right, so let's try adding those two. Here. Country code and city here. No, I think it's just okay. That's fine. I'm just using the coordinates here. All right, so then once I enter these two, that's fine. So I built the condition so far with coordinates. And then now I need to build a condition without coordinates. So if I don't want to use an else clause, although an else clause would be nice here. Customer input dot coordinates dot latitude is equals 0, and customer input dot coordinates dot longitude equals 0. And I also need to handle an error case to make sure if one of them is 0, not the other one. Gotta figure out a way to better do that. So now we need to get the coordinates from, excuse me, we need to get the coordinates from here API. So do that by going into here. Oops. Provide the API key, or they provide the API key, and the city, the country code, and the postal code. With I think what I'm gonna do is API key. I'm gonna export this. Probably just replace the first character, that would have been just fine. Oh, hello Alicidra. How's it going? Alright, so we've got that. And yes, we're changing it here and changing it here. Awesome. So let's go back to pcal. Alright, so now here, if we do, where are we getting the here API? Lookup method. So lookup method dot, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see. Okay, so never mind. It's not lookup method. Where was it? I need a new one. So it was called, it's equal to new. I did pcal input here. Pcal input is the struct, right? Yes, it is. Where here, I'm looking for customer location input with API key. Wow, that's a mouthful. Here API lookup is equal to new customer with API key. Yes, I know it's not. Okay, cool. So customer application with API key. Oh wait, what did I name it? I forgot already. So here lookup dot API key is equal to, and I need to build the case if the API key is also not provided. I'll build all those error cases up top actually before we continue. or maybe I'll make another function out of it. Well, actually, I could put it down there and check customer input. Or actually, I did for the API key, it looks like. Okay, cool. So here, API key is equal to, I need the API key in customer input.api key. Does not have API key? Has here API key. I should just rename this too. Actually, no. Let's keep that. Let's change it here. All right, that's at least similar. Cool. Now we can say dot here API key. Here lookup dot city is equal to customer input dot city, and here lookup dot I can just put both of those here. So here lookup.city equal to customer input.city. Here lookup country code. Customer input.country code. Because most of these are going to be the same, they're not really conditional. And then here's the conditional part where we need the API key or we need the coordinates and we would handle it, right? So if we have the coordinates, and if we don't have the coordinates, we need to get it. And then get the monthly prayer data. So now what's the issue? So lookup method is not being used. Oh, right. This is going to give us errors or whatnot. Okay. I'll come back to that one. Cool. So here we have all of this. So now we can just go ahead and go directly into we can go in directly and get this data. So from Aladdin, we can say sprintf. So all we need is we've got the time, we need to put the method and the longitude and latitude. Are we looking at methods here in customer input? We are not putting method. We probably should put the method. Let's move this up to make it alphabetical. Okay. We need the lookup method to be an int value, I believe. Yeah, we need the lookup method to be an int value, and then that can go ahead and get it from the source. Put that here. Alright, so lookup method declared and not used, and if I show assignment lookup method, it's fine. Oh, I can't name it lookup method because it conflicts with that. let's see, the method in Al-Adhan is actually the location, the institution that you want to use to calculate the prayer times. So if you want to use, by default, I go ahead and use one, which is from Karachi, which is Pakistan. Oh man, I can't pronounce Saralna. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. Alright, so instead of calling it lookup method, let's call this something else. Let's say institution. And that's going to be of type int, and we're going to change that here as well. The institution. Alright, so institution is going to give us a type int. So the monthly prayer data dot institution is equal to customer input dot institution as well. And then, so from there, we get the coordinates, we got the institution, and now we can go ahead and actually get let's see, where else am I using institution here? I'm using it, but well, that's a test. Oh wait, I need to save this too. Do I have any more? No, okay. Input.institution. Okay, so I am using it. So I put the coordinates. Now I can just go ahead and get that output. Pcal output, but here I need to type output too. I will always need a pcal output, right? Which includes this. Okay. So here, I'll do pcal output and error. So what that'll do for me is I can go ahead and return the same calendar output and check the error as well in case there are any errors. But I don't think this, oh, this also returns an error. Cool. So this is ultimately what I'm going to come to, right? I'm going to get the here API keys if I need to and look at the coordinates, but I ultimately come here and gather the calendar as well. So let's go ahead and, yes, I'm missing a return key. Okay, so return monthly prayer data. That should be fine. And this one, I'll fix that in a bit. So here, now I actually need to go to here API and customer location input with here API key, which are these things. Cool. Return customer location. Should probably call this here customer location. So this returns of type Oh, it returns just the two things: customer coordinates, city out. Okay, so there's two types. There's customer coordinates, city output, and then there's customer location output. I think the city output we said was the more strict one, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and use this as much as possible. And then, but I'll also need the other one as well, so I can get the country, the city, the postal code, and the coordinates. Which is, I don't really need any of these three because I provide these three, but I'll use it. Let's see what I can get with it. So there's three variables in this one. So we have got the first one is just the actual location, so the here response. The second one is actually the strict location, as we said, which is just the city and the country. So I can say here resp, and then here city, and then error is equal to that, right? I know none of them are used. And then if error is not equal nil, what are we doing at this point? We're logging fatal. That's what we're doing. Log.fatal unequal to customer location. And we'll just give all of here lookup as a struct. So then oh man, this is gonna be a nested if condition. I hate nested if conditions. They're the worst. So let me go ahead and test if this condition actually returns city and whatnot. So we especially need the coordinates. If here's city dot coordinates dot, oh, I should have kept it all similar. Latitude does not equal 0 because these are float 32s. And here's city dot coordinates dot longitude does not equal 0. Then check the main, the parent, the here response. If it equals 0, not equals 0. So equals 0. Here city, or sorry, here if here resp dot response. Do I want response? I want response. Dot view most likely 0 dot result, and result is of type array. Again, most likely 0. I hate these long-winded conditions. Anyway, this is latitude. So if they're both equal to 0, this is terrible. I don't like that. Let's make that into a variable. So here address response is equal to here resp dot response dot view 0 result. I really should go through it as an array. Instead of using array 0 like I've been doing. So I think even on the test, no. So I said like if response view 0, result I, location address. Okay. So I do at least put all of the responses. I don't put all of the views. I only put view 0, but I do put all the responses in one view for their location. So I can go ahead and iterate through that. Hello, Commander Root. Welcome back. Nice to have you. Please do let me know if my mic isn't working or something. I did test it out this morning, so it was working out just fine. The music should be working just fine as well. Oh, it's already 7:30 my time. I'm in the Eastern time zone. Okay, so I can at least go through all the results, and then I'll figure out a way what view is for, because they didn't really give a lot of documentation on that. So let me go back. I don't need to do view. I can still do 0. If here response. Let's do if length of here response dot response view 0 dot result is is greater than 1, then we need to do something to handle the multiple views. Alright, so multiple responses. Do we even need to do that? I feel like I should make another function for this. This is getting a little ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna make another function for this. So if the coordinates are not there, then if the coordinates are not there, how should we tackle this? Then go through the results and see if any of them match the zip code, because that's our primary way of looking up. If any of them match the zip code in the result, then get those coordinates and send it to the and send it to the monthly calendar data lookup. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Okay, so for I did. For your city dot I equals 0, I is less than your city response dot response view. Again, we're only dealing with 0 at the moment, but we're dealing with all the results, and this is going to be a type length. Or sorry, this is going to be a lookup of length. I++. I want to check if any of the results match the particular. If any of the results match the zip code. So if here response view 0 result I dot location address equal to customer input dot postal code, Then I want to set those as the coordinates. So the coordinates is going to be the monthly calendar data dot longitude is equal to I should just shorten this. Here results is equals here response dot here city dot response, or sorry, here response dot view 0 result, and then that way is equal to here results. Should just call this here response results actually. Okay, and then here can be at least up to here can be here response results excuse me. Yes, that's right. I think that's fine. I think it's because of this. No? Oh, it's equals. Here response results dot excuse me, longitude is that, and monthly prayer data dot latitude is here response results I dot that. Okay, that's perfect. And then outside of this for loop, if nothing was found, if nothing was found, then we're gonna do log.fatal. Oh. Hello, Danielle Salam. Danielle Salam? I'm butchering names today, it's so terrible. But hello. Okay. So we need to log.fatal, unable, pinpoint, customer, location. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are you? I hope your day is going well. So, yes, you are the first to follow. I'm a new streamer. I've been doing this for about maybe 2 weeks or so. I'm actually just doing this just to practice a few programming languages. To be honest, this was a previous project of mine just to catch you up a bit, and I wrote it in Go, and then I realized that I could make this a little more streamlined, meaning that I want to make what I'm doing here, which I'll explain in a second. I want to make this into a library, where I can like basically input into other Go projects and gather this data however I want it. So the project is I'm Muslim, so just to give you a little bit of heads up, and what I'm doing is I'm making an API that gathers a monthly calendar time of my 5 daily prayers, and I'm able to do that with an API called Aladdin. If you Google it, I'm sure you'll find it. And then and I'm gathering customer location input based on zip code. So I'm using Here API, kind of like Google's geolocation API, and then where the customer can only input the zip code, and we can get the general zip code of the city, not necessarily the actual address, because that's a little bit invasive, but I do need to know up to the city to at least get a general time zone. And then I gather those coordinates and pass it onto this Aladdin API, and then I get the monthly calendar data. So that's what I'm building. It's just a library. I want to be able to put this into like other things. One of my previous project was an Alexa app, so I can go ahead and use this and plug it into an Alexa app, or maybe a Google Chrome plugin. I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds out there, but it's just me practicing. So if you have any critique on my code or the way I'm doing things, by all means, go for it. So that's catching you up to speed. Again, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. So we're unable to pinpoint customer location based on zip code, and then I can go ahead and pass in the entirety of here response results, which I will do. Awesome. All right. What time is it? I'm good on time. I got 20 more minutes at least. So now I can go ahead and call here. I've already called here API, right? Yes. Cool. Oops, wrong one. I don't need that one. I need to return this one. Return. All right. Cool. So that should go ahead, at least this portion, should go ahead and gather my customer's coordinates based on the city, obviously, the longitude and latitude, and then feed it into this API, and I should be able to get this particular response, which is exactly the response I'm looking for up here in this output. However, I just realized I actually need to do I don't know why this isn't being caught, but I need to do a nil on my return statements. Two values. Oh, okay, so that already returns two values. So if this returns nice. Okay, so since this returns two values, I don't actually have to do two values here. Awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead. So we get data if the coordinates are not provided by the customer. We get data if the coordinates are provided by the customer. I could definitely help you out with that. I can give you a bit of my dot files if you want, but it is catered toward my. Yes, there are a lot of configurations to be done, but it's so worth it. Like maneuvering is so easy. Like I can obviously go to source, and like the best part about it is that I keep my hands only on like the main part of my keyboard. I barely use arrows. Like I only need to use arrows if I need to scroll on the select few places. Like if I do Control O, like I can type and pin and narrow it down, but if to go up and down, I need to use arrows. But if you want my help, we can make it like a little episode maybe next time or so, and I can walk through how my Vim is set up. It's not the best. I've only been doing Vim stuff for about, I think, 5 months now, and I use NeoVim specifically. you. I don't use regular Vim. I like the addition of Lua, and I'm not very good at Lua, but I like the addition of Lua in Vim rather than using plain Vim script. But we can spend an episode or so going through Vim stuff. I don't know why, but I'm quite passionate about Vim. It just makes my life so much easier. If you ever watch the Primegen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. His brain runs in light speed, but with Vim, like you can see how fast his brain runs. Like he just goes, it's hard to explain. Like he'll be like in one space and then he'll be like in a different space completely, like entirely. And you have to like slow down the videos. Well, at least I do. I have to slow down the video sometimes to be able to follow what he's doing. And I want to be able to get to that point. Like I'm sure my brain might not run as fast. I don't have a lot of development experience, but I want to be able to get to that point at some time in my life. Okay, so I return those two, and then I log fatal if I can't get it. And then here, let's see. So this is only in the case if they're 0, and if they're not 0, then I want to be able to return then I want to say monthly prayer data dot longitude is equal to here coordinates longitude, monthly prayer data dot latitude is equal to here coordinates latitude, and then return all of that data, monthly prayer data. Cannot use this as type. Okay, so that handles all of my cases. Let me just make sure I go over them real quick. So I build the coordinate without, and I build the coordinate with. This is the one with. Do you think I should configure using Lua or VimScript? I think you should configure using Lua. The thing with VimScript, like especially with the recent release of VimScript, is VimScript VimL9. It's that it's very, very catered towards Vim. It's not extensible, and Lua, while it is a mature language, but it doesn't have a lot of community support outside of certain projects like NeoVim, obviously. But there are more support for it. Like you can do, regular API lookup or whatever without having to use VimScript. So like, for example, let's say that you want to build something that, like I'm working on a project which we gather Jira tickets. So I use Jira for work. So I want to be able to write in, like in Lua, it's easier to go ahead and do a request and gather stuff from Jira and then bring it up as a plugin directly to my NeoVim. I haven't finished it yet, and I'm actually gonna write it in Rust and then port it over. But it is what it is. As for, so yes, there are plugins that doesn't support Lua, but you can use VimScript in NeoVim. You don't have to use Lua plugins. But at the same time, I would highly recommend using the Lua plugins. There are alternative scripts that are written in Lua for airline. Like I use Bufferline instead of airline. Let me just go ahead and show you real quick. This is my Bufferline config. It's mainly all my tabs and whatnot over here, and then obviously this information down here is from LuaLine, which is another plugin. But all of my stuff is from Lua. So like this is all written in Lua. All my plugins are in Lua. Everything here. I've got nothing in VimScript. Pretty much nothing in VimScript. There are a few cleanups that I have to do, and I would highly recommend using the Lua-based plugins with NeoVim. It's much easier once you understand Lua. Yeah, my dot files are public. Once you understand Lua, then it makes it so much easier. Let me go ahead and get you my dot files. Actually, before I do that, I need to sign in. Okay. Before I do that, gotta get my UV key. I need to explain a bit of my dot files because I've got everything in terms of like my shell configuration, my TMUX configuration in my dot files. So you probably just want my NeoVim configuration. I can point that out to you. Let me try and bring this over real quick. So this is my stuff. Here's my dot files. So I've got my fish shell configuration. You don't want the entire thing, but you can go ahead and clone this. I'll put this in the chat real quick. No worries, man. So you just want the NVim stuff, and obviously all my stuff over here. It's, again, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's written well enough for you to understand at least. Everything starts in it, and then everything for plugins starts here. So if you go to plugins, most of the stuff is just all the configs for each of my plugins are in plugin configs, and all my plugins are installed in plugins.lua. I've had a few other plugins like Navigator, but they're not being used here. Key functions are actually, I don't even remember what key functions was for, and my internet's being super slow right now. But yeah, take a look. Let me know if you have any questions, and I can go ahead and answer them. Maybe I can clean up my dot files a little more than what they are right now. All right, so yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, maybe it's an issue. No, they said optimal. Huh. Okay. All right. So let's go back. Cool. So yeah, as I was saying, I have a few things that I use here and there. I don't use Snap anymore, but I'm trying to get it fixed. So use it however you see fit. If you want to take a look at all the bindings, obviously do nmap. And there are some custom bindings in my dot files, so take a look at here exactly like what binding does what, right? So I've got git signs, which I don't really use, but I like having the signs, and I've also got the LSP stuff. The LSP stuff is actually what's important, and anything nmap shows all the bindings in normal mode, right? So there's also imap, and then there's also what else? There's imap, nmap, and then there's vmap. So it's, I is insert, n is normal, and v is visual. Those are all the different types of bindings that you can get. All right, so going back, I've got. All right, I'm here. Okay. Yeah, there are some plugins with key bindings. You do want to know what those key bindings are. Most of the plugins you can change the key bindings, but it helps to know what they are by default with nmap and vmap if you're not reading the documentation directly. There are some key bindings that I don't really know of because I don't use it on a daily basis, and I really should get in the practice of it. But it is what it is. I'll get to it at one point. It'll be a thing. All right, so here I need to somehow fill this in. Yeah, no worries, man. You're good. Okay, so thank you. So log.fatal. No, don't be sorry. You're my first follower, man. You got all the props. So never be sorry about that. I'm ecstatic if you can't tell. Unable to locate customer input. Not enough. I'm gonna go ahead and return customer location input. I should never run into this. I need to build a better thing for that. Okay, so you can't use underscore as value or type. What can you do with this then? You can't use that as value or type. Can you do it? Why can't you do that? Of course, I should definitely start with Golang in mind. Underscore in Golang is known as a blank identifier. Its value can't be used. It kind of doesn't hold any value. Go doesn't allow you to use unused variables, therefore the original problem used underscore to drop the value. Use I instead of underscore and run the program. That doesn't really answer the question, because in this case, what I'm trying to do, I'm talking out loud here, I know. What I'm trying to do is that nothing's gonna be here. I should probably just return, and my response is supposed to be pcal output. If I pick that out, it says missing return, okay. I'm still good on time. I think I'll stream until 14 more minutes. 8:10, my time should be good enough. And I also need to look up, I'm also not looking up the lookup method. Okay, so here, all right, let's fix this one first. That's bothering me. So lookup method returns, what exactly? It returns string error. So if they provide an API key, then I'm returning an empty string. I was already doing this down here. Okay, so if it returns API key, then it's that, and if it returns coordinates, then it's that. So up here, I don't need to do both. So if this so where I check for this or check for this. So this can be if lookup method, lookup method equal coordinates. This is a terrible way of doing this, but I don't really know of another way because this returns that string. So if lookup method is equal to coordinates, then we just provide the coordinates. And if lookup method is equal to API key, is it API key? API, yeah, API, capital API key. Then we do this, and if lookup method does not equal either of these two, then we have to fail. For lookup method does not equal API key, then we log fatal. Coordinates for API key is not provided. Continue. And we'll say customer input. And that way the error can give us the right customer input. All right, so there on out, it has to be one of these two. And let's go ahead and put that guy up there, build coordinate, build condition with coordinates. All right. And then now all I have to do is fix that return statement. Excuse me. In the return statement, all I'm doing is I'm gathering that type. I don't like this, but it could work. So log fiddle has possible formatting directed. So this is just empty, but it's going to return an error, and error is... Oh, that's not going to work. And it's saying if error, this error is following that guy. Okay, so this error, and I really need to separate it. So it's a possible formatting director type. Oh, I messed this up everywhere. Look at that. Alright. Suspect or lookup method of coordinates. Suspect or. That's a weird error. I've never seen suspect. That's new. What does this mean? Golang. I keep saying Golang, but it is. It's hard to say just go because go is a common word. But what does suspect or mean? Your condition is always true. Content type is not equal image JPEG, and content type is not equal image JPEG. You're comparing. Oh, you need to use and. Oh, okay. That makes sense. If that's a little weird to me. Like if it's not this and not this, like okay, and it is. Cool. All right, so that's there. And then now we need to actually create a task diagnostics suspect or lookup. Okay. Didn't I just change that? Must have hit just regular U. Okay. So now I need to make a test for this and see what I get. Let's go ahead and write the helper statement. Returns the customer monthly prayer data with or without providing coordinates. If customer does not provide coordinates, I think in the future, I'm gonna change this so it uses Google's geolocation service as well. That way, if rather than using here, which is another API, they can use Google's geolocation service to, like, with an API key that can use Google's geolocation service, so the customer can use their own service to look up the coordinates. But that's a different thing for the future. So let's go ahead and make a test for this. Do I have a pcal test? I don't have a pcal test. Okay. Pcal. Oh, is it? Yeah. Pcal test.go. Yes, I know. Okay, so let's go ahead and close everything else. All right, so in pcaltest.go, so we'll call this package. Based on customer input. If you have any ideas on improving my stream, please do let me know at any time. I kind of want this to be a little more than just a stream, but right now I'm using it as a means to just learn Golang, or in the future Rust, hopefully. At work I use TypeScript, but I want to make sure that I'm well versed. I'm very much versatile. And not only that, I'm also an infrastructure engineer, so I don't really get to touch a lot of application code in any way. So let's go ahead and write some tests. We will say test prayer calendar. Oops. What's the other way I've written auto test? So I just build it. Okay, so let's go ahead and build the input. New. Do I need new? I don't need new. I can just do. Yeah, I can just do that. So I need city, coordinates, country code, customer time, here API key. Okay. It's equal to, let's say, oh, I've used this in the past. So let's go ahead and use these three. I don't need here API key, or rather, I could use here API key. So in this one, I can use this. Gotta be honest, these errors are annoying. Let's move this down too. All right, so then afterwards, whoa, why is it so far out? Okay, so in this case, customer input with API key is equal to that, and then that gives me city coordinates, country code. I need the customer time, so I can steal some time data somewhere, I'm sure. This one doesn't have it. Oh, that does have though. Yeah, there we go. Beverly Hills time. I can use that. I can't use it directly like that. Okay, so I can declare it up top. Oh, I need the time zone. Type check. No, no. Okay, that's fine. So Beverly Hills time. All right. So now I'm just missing this one guy. So that's with API key. Now I can go ahead and test it. I'm gonna call prayer calendar. Customer input with API key, and it's going to return to me two things. T.fatal app. That's error. Right, so monthly data dot if monthly data dot code is not equal to 100. Well, I don't know what it's supposed to be actually. I'll test it out with 200. So monthly data. So if monthly data dot code is not equal to 200, d dot rf customer with API key return code. Return code is not 200. I'm gonna say error here. All right. Monthly data dot data. If length of my findings is equal to 0, then t.rf. I can just say error. Ooh, what is this? Invalid format. Oh, right. It's not, yeah. Non-Boolean. Yeah, that's a good thing it caught that. Cool. All right. We're at 8:14. Let me see how far I can. Let's go ahead and test this out first. So cd code, prayer schedule. Oh, it all worked. Okay, so in which case, let's go ahead and print out some data. So fm meetup, I was not expecting it to work. Print f, monthly data dot datas, the 0th day dot timings asset, right? And so this is for in October 2022, 10/10. Beverly Hills time zones. We should at least see something. We do. Look at that. We get at least one time. So that means that it is actually getting able to collect the data with the API key. Now we need to build it without the API key. And I don't remember the coordinates for Beverly Hills. So let's go ahead and build it real quick anyways. We'll just call this with API key. Press prayer calendar. With API. Will that work? Even though the function name is different? Let's see if I still get the same output. I do. Okay, so I don't have to name the function the exact same thing. I can just call it whatever I want as long as it starts with test. I'll make a new function for fun test their calendar. Without. Oh, wait. ER or AR? Calendar. I can't even spell calendar. It's AR. Oh, I spelled it wrong though. Without API key. T testing. Oh, that's exactly what I want. Okay. Let's fix this one. Make sure I don't spell calendar with Yeah, I spelled it right there. Okay, I think I'm good to go. It's just one. So here, taskbar calendar without API key. So I need the same things, except I don't need the here API key, obviously. So I need to get rid of this. I need to get the same time zones. Alright, so yeah, that's fine. And then I can check for the same things. That was a lot of repeated code, but that's okay. This is with API key. I'll say this is without API key. Alright, so down here, I need to provide, okay, so I should at least, I want to be able to run the error. I want to test my error and make sure. Okay, I'll test it later. Let me go ahead and get coordinates for Beverly Hills 90210. This, isn't it negative 118? I feel like it's negative 118. It should be. Yeah, it's negative 118. Why is it saying? It's definitely negative. There's no way it's positive. coordinates again? Coordinates is prior calendar input coordinates. Can't remember the keys. Latitude and longitude. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, longitude is, let's see, it was 34, and latitude is negative this. I think it just expects us to know negative when we say west. Okay, so that will give us without and with. Ooh. Coordinates or API key was not provided. We ran into an error, and then we still got the return. No, we just got what we put in. So we did definitely put that in. It saw that we put that in, but it's not looking it up right. So we ran into this error. Coordinates or API key was not provided, cannot continue. So let's take a look at that. All right, so that's coming from lookup method. Lookup method is this guy. So if here API key is empty and customer is equal to 0, then it's that. Did we get one of these errors? We didn't get one of these errors. Here API key coordinates are not filled. Must fill and coordinates are not filled. But we didn't run into that error. We ran into none of those. We didn't even get this one. We just got the one up here, so something's wrong. Cannot continue. If it's not equal to coordinates, it's not equal to API key, it cannot continue. So let's go ahead and also print out what lookup method is. Lookup method is its coordinates. Excuse me. That makes no sense. If lookup methods is coordinate and lookup method is coordinates and lookup method is. Did I not spell it right? Like, is there? Is there a spelling difference or something? There was a spelling difference. What was the spelling difference? The antes. My bad. Spelling counts, testing counts. We're still good. We're still getting one with API key, one without the API key. But the one without the API key is different. Why is that different? Gotta love time data sometimes. Okay, so let's go ahead and go here. So we got, I typed in Cordiantes. I don't know. Did I say that somewhere? No, okay, all right. It wasn't that. My typing is not the best sometimes, and I make mistakes and I don't spell check, and even at work, like I'll often make mistakes, and it's like deployed out to some globally scoped infrastructure, and then it'll just be there with a mistype or misspelled name. And I'll be like, whoops, can't fix it now. Everybody's using it. It's gonna break if I update. Those are always the best. You can get spell check, especially as a plugin. So one of the I think Vim has default spell check, but one of the plugins that I use is called null.ls, and it can do spell check, but it's just so annoying. Like whenever it's not the best when you're naming variables and whatnot. It'll say that those are also errors. Not the best. So that's why I often make mistakes. Although I hate to admit it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and fix why we're not getting the same data across both of them. Okay, so without API key. Yeah, it was just the just two characters transposed. Well, it's not. It's still there. Thanks. I didn't realize I undid that. Okay, so going back to the test. This data should be the same as this data, and it's not. So something's wrong with, maybe it's not negative? Let's try without being a negative. Nope, it's definitely not that. So we need to find out what this is returning for the coordinates. And then we test it out with this. Okay, so let's do that. So with coordinate, monthly data dot data say 0 dot that doesn't actually give us the coordinate data though. Maybe we should also print out the same coordinates even though technically the user is inputting them. Let's see. Pcal output code status. Pcal output actually comes from, yeah, we decoded JSON, we decoded Rasp dot, okay, we just still set it. So let's set it. I did it again. Let's see. S dot latitude is equal to input dot latitude. S dot longitude is equal to input dot longitude. Well, can I actually just check this data without having to set it? On the test, I can, right? Because it's just this guy. What does this guy return? Ooh, no. Keep doing that. Oh, hello, Agon. Thank you for joining. I have another. Oh, today's the best day of my life. I got 2 new followers. How's it going? Hello, Lurks. Welcome back. Just to give you a bit of a catch-up, Agog, I'm just working on some, I'm just looking up some data, calendar data on an API. I'm a Muslim, so I'm looking at prayer data, and I'm returning it based on customers' input. So if a customer provides coordinates, then I just go to the nearest city of that. Thank you, mashallah. Mashallah indeed. I'm hoping, you know, mashallah means God's gift. I'm hoping this turns out great. So all I'm doing is gathering the customer's input. If they provide me a coordinates, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the nearest city and return the monthly data based on the customer's daytime. And if they don't, and they provide me with a here API key, here's a geolocational service. It's free for use for a limited number of calls, requests. And if they can provide me with that key, then I can go ahead and use that and look up the customer's longitude and latitude and give them the same monthly prayer calendar data. So that's my project in a nutshell, and I'm just going and testing it out. I'm pretty close. I've got it to a point where the test parameter, the prayer calendar with the API key returns this. At least this is Usher time, but it's specific, I think, at Beverly Hills. But without the API key, I looked up some coordinates. I'm getting this, so I need to figure out this discrepancy. It should be this because it's PDT. It should not be this. This is +2. This is west of. What's that? West of Europe, wherever the prime meridian is. Thank you. This was previously a project of mine, but I actually enclosed it all together in an Alexa prayer app. So now I'm decoupling it. So this is gonna be just the library, and then I'm gonna have like a client app that uses this as a library on my Alexa app, and I might make a Chrome extension or something else depending on where I put it. I also want to get into Google Home's skill building. It's not as popular, but eventually one day. I'm using this as a way to learn Golang, and I know it's difficult, especially in my position because I'm an infrastructure engineer. It's difficult to learn application programming, so I want to keep myself versatile. So that's what it is in a nutshell. All right, so to figure out the discrepancy, I either have this wrong. This is why I thought it was a negative, but it's a negative 118. No, you're good. You're my second follower, so no disturbance. Thank you. I gave my dot files earlier to, I'm gonna mess this, Danielle Salim. If you wanna take a look at my dot files, you're more than welcome to. It's catered towards my 2 machines, so keep that in mind. But my NeoVim should be should be pretty good to go. So anything in the nvim folder should be good to go there. Alright, so let me go back. Okay, so I need to figure out what these coordinates are, what here is responding with and what I'm testing with. Let me know if I can make some improvements, or if you want to, you know, if you guys want to submit PRs, I'm all good to go there. So how do we get the... So I was looking up this where I use it down here, but it's not being returned. That's the problem. But I can... I can call this. So here lookup is just this customer lookup. Here, customer location is indeed what I want. Here, customer location. Can I do customer with input API key? Yeah, I didn't think I could do that. Okay. So I need to build, what can this accept? This can accept customer location with API key. With here API key, okay. It's equal to new customer with here API key, here input, oops, here input dot city equal to customer with API key dot city. Okay, I don't know if this is the best way, but I'm gonna do it. So here input dot entry code customer input. Here input dot postal code. We'll do customer input with postal code. Okay, so I've got these, and then now I can do here location, here input. So I just needed these three. And this returns two outputs and an error. There, it's not equal nil. This isn't very informative. I'm just gonna go ahead and just do this real quick just to get the coordinate data. Yeah, oops. Oh, right, I'm not supposed to use that. I'm supposed to use T, and it's supposed to be error F. Okay, so, excuse me, T dot output. Log call has possible formatting director %v. Yeah, I'm using this. Does not like that. Let's see. Why are you doing that? Log call has possible formatting directive %v. That's fine. %v is okay. I'm using %v everywhere. Using it here. Here. But why is it an issue here? Oh, because I'm not using a log app. Alright, so let's check what this actual data is. Ooh. I wasn't running into this before. It says here API is not 200 now. But I am getting this. What was that here API response? No, that's different. I didn't get the... Where is this coming from? This is test product handler with an API key. Here API response. It's not this guy. It must be coming from here. Should have been long. Okay. But I still got some data, it looks like. And this is with the API key. So what is the response code? Request status code. This is nothing. So why is it nothing? Yeah, I still get something from here. Here, customer. Ow. I'm checking this before I even... Well... It shouldn't matter because... That's fine. Response status code is equal to request status code. Request status code is not 200, and then I'm printing the response. The response is nothing. Okay, so this is not helpful. And then I return the request status code. So the request status code is return code not 200, and then it's 401. What is 401? Oh wait, is this coming from here? Or is this coming from... I forget where 401 is. Yeah, that's all fine. I should check all this after doing the code. Well, it's still not 200. I'm getting a 401, and then I'm somehow getting something. But now I should be getting... I got a 401 and some empty data. That's probably what it is. I bet you it's this. Maybe this isn't, but how am I getting the correct time zone and everything? How is that working? With an API key is not 200. It is 8:48. Oh my god. Well, luckily I already made breakfast for the wife, so maybe I can spend a few more minutes. I'm way over time though. I should do this more often. Make breakfast for the wife earlier. Because normally I stop at 8 a.m. and then I just start from there, but it's almost 9. I guess I'll stop around 9. That'll be my cutoff time. So let's see. Some prayer data, API key, and then I get the prayer data, and it's correct. So there's something wrong. So this does something. Not enough arguments to call want int and common string. That's not the status code though. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, that's a problem. I'm probably using this wrong. Yeah, see, it is 200. Okay, so it's 200. So this is doing something different. So I've got the here API key. Why not have the here API key on the test? I don't have the here API key on the test. Well, I don't really need it. Maybe I do. I do need it. Well, glad that works. Now I can go ahead and remove my... This is fine. This is fine. This. Got it working. I need to get rid of... Oh, these are all the test. Okay, that's fine. Full response. I don't... Oh, right. Okay, so... The address is actually latitude first and then longitude. Is that right? Longitude first and then latitude, but why is it negative 118? That's weird. This must return it in that format. I must have done it wrong on my test. Must have. Without, let's see, without this. That's fine though. Latitude. Longitude is supposed to be 34. Latitude is supposed to be negative 118. This is saying that it's returning this. Let's print the specifics. So CSV. So here address data dot coordinates dot lng. It's backwards. Longitude is that. It's setting it differently. Maybe I have it differently. Do I not know my longitude and latitudes? Yeah, longitude is negative 118 and latitude is 34. Okay, well, that would make a difference. So I need to... I guess I don't know my longitudes and latitudes. Look at that. All right, so now they do return the same data. Look at that, that's awesome. All right, I think I'm gonna call it quits there. We did go directly, so we created a function where the customer provides both the coordinates and returns the prayer data for the month that's provided in the daytime, and one without the coordinates but with the here API key, and it does this exact same thing, which is exactly what we want. We could build out one with Google's geolocation, however I need to read up on that API. I've never actually used it. Other than that, I think we're good to go. So we can actually use this function. We can use this function, fill this out. And when we fill that out, then, well, actually, sorry, we can use these functions with coordinates and without coordinates. And we need to test that out too, but I can do that for next time. But once we go ahead and fill that out, then, excuse me, that should give us the monthly prayer data, and we should just go from there. All right, this is taking shape, and then after that, the library is done, so we can just go ahead and use this in other Go projects. I do eventually want to go into like maybe explore something like gRPC and REST APIs, but that'll be a different day, maybe a different project entirely. All right, it's 9 a.m. exactly, and my work notification just went on. I appreciate you guys, Agonk and Danielle Salem. I probably butchered both those names. I apologize. Thank you guys for the follow. Let's go ahead and raid somebody. Let's see who's available. I I always follow the same general people. I think it's like Acorn or who's available. Let's go to my followers. Acorn's available. Let's go to Acorn. She's always been streaming for like 10, 12, 13 hours a day. I don't know how she does it, but let's rate her. If I can get back to my Twitch channel. Got GitHub notifications from work. Alright, let's raid Acorns. I'll see you guys there. Actually, I'm gonna be gone, but I'll see you guys later. Thank you for the follow, guys. Have a good one. I'll be back on Friday.
So, Retro MMO, played this game a lot. Give him a follow if you haven't already. And I was able to get some actionable feedback the other day. So we're going through, we're adding sounds, we're adding